The desert was too quiet for something this big. Even the wind had the sense to stop. Commander Eli Caron tilted his head back and stared at the impossible thing hovering above him, a ship that glowed like frozen lightning, humming a note that didn't belong to physics. The locals called it the Silence. The galaxy called it a myth. Humanity called it ours. He grinned. "Well," he murmured to no one, "let's see if the legends can hold a conversation." The dust crunched as he adjusted his collar, a crisp navy jacket, spotless even after 6 days on this sun-baked planet. Polite smile, relaxed posture, hands behind his back. He looked like a tourist on a historical tour, not the first human to stand beneath a vessel that supposedly predated civilization itself. When the ship finally spoke, it didn't use sound. It used pressure. The air trembled around his bones. "Identify yourself. Biological." Eli smiled faintly. "Human," he said, as if that explained everything. "Species 9H. Explorer, not intruder." "Impossible. Humanity lacks the technology to perceive this construct." He looked up at the vast hull, glowing with languages older than continents. "Funny thing about us," he said cheerfully. "We tend to notice things we're not supposed to." The Serati appeared soon after, tall, silver-skinned beings whose eyes looked like molten glass. Ancient. Poised. Infuriatingly calm. Their leader descended the ridge on a floating platform, robes trailing like liquid shadow. "I am Areth of the Serati Custodians," he said, voice soft and disapproving. "You should not be here, human." Eli's expression was all manners and mild curiosity. "Forgive the intrusion." The coordinates were public domain, or perhaps leaked intentionally. Arthur's glassy eyes flickered. "You are not authorized to perceive this vessel, much less approach it." "Then you probably shouldn't have parked it in the middle of a desert with a lovely view," Eli said, looking around. "You know humans. We see a shiny thing, we poke it." The Sarathi's tone cooled further. "You misunderstand, human. That ship is beyond your kind. It was sealed before your species discovered fire." Eli gave a thoughtful nod. "And yet here I am, with a nice cup of coffee and front-row seats." He took a slow sip from the metal mug in his hand, steam curling up like punctuation. Aretha's eyes narrowed. "Your insolence is almost admirable." "Thanks," Eli said lightly. "We practice." The Serati gathered, elegant as statues, murmuring telepathically. Eli caught fragments. How did they find it? Their sensors are primitive. This is a breach. He watched them calmly. They didn't realize the ship had already scanned them all, through their shields, through their genetic armor, through their secrets. He'd seen the readings on his wrist pad an hour ago. The Silence wasn't just ancient. It was responsive. And it was listening to him. The air trembled again, the ship speaking directly into the minds of all present. "One among you carries the signature." The Serati stiffened. Areth turned sharply to Eli. "What did you bring here, human?" Eli shrugged. "A smile and good intentions. Oh, and maybe a handshake from something older than you." Aretha's robes rippled as he approached. "You mock forces that have ended empires." "Sure," Eli said. "But we've survived mid-level management and group projects. Try us." The Serati hissed, a sound like hot metal in snow. "Do you understand what that ship is?" Areth said. "It is a construct of the first architects. Even we, the Serati, who walked among their ruins, dare not awaken it." Eli's eyes gleamed. "And yet, it woke up for me." Silence. Real silence this time, vast and heavy. "Signature confirmed," the ship said again, its light turning from blue to white. "Human neural pattern recognized. Awaiting directive." The Serati recoiled. "It responds to you?" Eli looked up, smiled politely. "Seems that way." "Impossible," Areth said, voice cracking for the first time. "That vessel answers only to the makers themselves." "Guess we're on the guest list," Eli said. The Serati surrounded him now, tension rippling through their perfect posture. Earth hissed. You will leave at once. Whatever pact your kind has forged. Forged? Eli tilted his head. Oh no, no. We didn't forge anything. We just listened. He tapped his wrist pad. A holographic interface flared, the same symbols glowing on the ship's hull. The Ceretee staggered backward in disbelief. Eli smiled like a teacher humoring an eager student. You've been guarding this relic for how long? 10,000 of your years. 36,000. Areth snapped. Impressive dedication, Eli said. But, you were guarding the wrong frequency. A pulse rolled across the dunes. The ship's underside shifted, glyphs rearranging like a lock turning. Energy shimmered, forming a massive gate of light descending to the sand. The Ceretee raised their staves in alarm. Stop. You cannot. Eli stepped forward, utterly calm. Relax. Humans don't destroy temples. We explore them. Then, with that perfectly polite smile, he added, usually. The gate swallowed him in a flood of light. The Ceretee shouted warnings, but the moment Eli crossed the threshold, their voices cut off, sealed out by ancient technology. Inside, the air hummed with consciousness. Walls pulsed with a rhythm that matched his heartbeat. Welcome, Inheritor, the voice said. Eli exhaled slowly. Nice to meet you too. He moved through corridors of impossible geometry, each step unfolding new architecture, as if the ship were growing around him. Inquiry, the voice said. Are the Ceretee still functional? Eli smiled faintly. Oh, they're functioning. Mostly as critics. They were meant to preserve, not dominate. Tell me about it. Eli brushed dust from a console. They've been babysitting your relics for millennia. Got a little possessive. The directive must be restored. That's what I'm here for. Outside, Aerith waited by the glowing barrier, fury and fear warring in his molten eyes. He turned to his aides. That ship responds to the human frequency. The architects have returned through them. One aide whispered, that cannot be. Humans are primitives. Aerith's gaze darkened. Then how do you explain this? The ship pulsed, a heartbeat of energy that cracked the ground. Runes along its hull shifted again, this time forming Ceretee glyphs. A message. Judgment sequence initiated. Aerith's calm composure shattered. He's activating it. Inside, Eli stood before the ship's core, a sphere of light, breathing like a star. Human, the voice said. You carry the architect's genetic echo. Directive. Evaluate current custodians of the Milky Arm. Eli chuckled softly. Funny you mention that. I was wondering what all those DNA upgrades were for. Proceed. He leaned on the console, eyes thoughtful. All right then. Let's see what 36,000 years of babysitting did for them. Outside, the Ceretee ships lifted into the air, surrounding the ancient vessel. Weapons hummed. Aretha's voice boomed through the comms. Human. Shut it down or we will destroy you. Eli tapped his earpiece. That's not very welcoming, Aerith. I was about to give you a favorable review. Review? Aerith hissed. Eli's tone turned cold and amused. You didn't really think this was humanity's first contact mission, did you? He pressed the console. The sky tore open. Massive projections appeared, holograms of countless other ships, ancient and human-made alike, scattered across the stars. Each one humming with the same glyphs. The Ceretee froze. Eli's voice, calm and slightly amused, carried through every channel. You've been evaluating us for centuries, cataloging, judging. Turns out, we were doing the same. Human, the ship said. Confirm classification. Eli looked out at the desert through the transparent wall, at Aretha's trembling figure below. Classification. Custodians ineffective. Transfer stewardship to active species. Confirmed. Light engulfed the planet. The Ceretee screamed as their technology shut down, every shield, every ship, every system reduced to silence. The ancient energy washed over them, erasing millennia of superiority in a single wave. When it faded, only the silence remained, humming softly like a lullaby. Eli stepped out into the cool air, brushing sand from his boots. The Serati knelt around him, powerless, their eyes wide with disbelief. He smiled kindly. "You should have let us help earlier. We're very collaborative when people ask nicely." Eartha's voice was a whisper. "What are you?" Eli tilted his head. "We're humans. We make coffee out of burnt beans, build ships out of scrap, and apparently, inherit god machines." He looked up at the glowing hull above. "Not bad for a species that wasn't supposed to exist, huh?" "Directive complete," the ship said quietly. "Awaiting next test." Eli's grin faded into something thoughtful, dangerous. "Next test. The neighboring arm has not yet been assessed." He turned toward the horizon, the desert winds picking up again. "Guess that means we're expanding the program." He started walking, hands in pockets, tone casual as ever. "You know how humans are. Give us a mystery." He glanced up one last time, at the ship that shouldn't exist, now humming like it was waiting for orders. "And we make it an adventure." The ship rose higher, light bleeding across the sky, and for a heartbeat the galaxy seemed to pause, realizing that the quiet little species from a blue planet hadn't just joined the stars. They'd inherited them.